Excuse me.
Good afternoon. This is cause number 2020-27158 in the interest of Sailor Serrano. Please raise your right hands to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. Ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the child. You can put your hand down.
My name is Tamika Hargrove, and I'm her mother.
All right, sir.
Nestor Serrano, I'm the father.
All right, for the state.
Angela Jeffries.
And we have an original petition and a suit affecting parent-child relationship with an acknowledgement of paternity. We're having a hearing. Virtually.
Yes, yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Jeffries, do we have any stipulations?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
Can we read those into the record, please?
Yes, Your Honor. The parties have stipulated to joint managing conservatorship, geo-restriction to the county. The child support will be $884 beginning August 1st of 2020. Cash medical support will be $262 beginning August 1st of 2020. Parties also stipulated to a judgment for $283. The parties have agreed that Mr. Serrano will pay that via a lump sum by January 31st of 2020. If he does not pay that, the parties have agreed that he will pay that at $56 per month beginning August 1st of 2020.
All right, so far, is that your agreement, Mr. Serrano?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Hargrove, so far, is that your agreement?
Yes.
All right. And what is the issue, Ms. Jeffries?
The issue before the court is visitation or possession and access of the child.
All right, call your first witness.
Before I call my first witness, Your Honor, I would just ask that the court take judicial notice of Texas Family Code 153-254 for children less than 3 years of age. The state calls Tamika Hargrove.
All right.
Yeah.
Ms. Hargrove, please state your full name for the record.
Tamika Hargrove.
All right. And how many children do you have with Mr. Serrano?
1.
And how old is that child?
She is 3 months.
Okay. With the current visitation schedule, how often does Mr. Serrano see your daughter?
The last time he saw her was on June 18th. But prior to that, he would see her like when he can, I want to say.
Like how
So-
often? I'm sorry. Say that again.
He would see her when he can.
When, I'm sorry, Ms. Jeffries, can you tell me what you said?
She said he would see her when he can.
When he can. Okay. All right.
So just to clarify, there is no current visitation schedule between you and Mr. Serrano.
No, there isn't.
Okay. Does he?
Okay, let me ask a question, Ms. Hargrove. It doesn't tell me how often he sees his child when you tell
Um,
me can.
Like prior, it was probably once a week or maybe twice a week, or maybe some weeks he wouldn't see her at all.
Okay, just on and off, but he seems, how many times would you think he's seen her since she's been born?
I want to say about 10 on 10 occasions.
10 occasions. If you tell me once a week or once every 2 weeks, you know, that's about 80 weeks since the child's been born. You tell me, and now you're saying it's only once every 8 weeks, I guess.
No, she's only 3 months.
Oh, I thought you said she was 1 year and 3 months. I'm sorry, it's my mistake.
Only-
Okay.
yeah.
3 months old. Okay. All right. My mistake. Thank you for correcting me. All right. Let's proceed.
All right. Does Mrs. Serrano, when he does visit with the child, did he have her for overnight visits?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And so do you oppose having the standard possession schedule of first, third, and fifth weekend?
I'm sorry. Say one
Do
more
you
time.
do you oppose Mr. Serrano keeping your daughter overnight, first, third, and fifth weekends per possession order?
Yes, at this time I do oppose to that.
Okay, and why are you in opposition to a standard possession order being ordered?
Mainly because of her age, because she's still young. She's only 3 months.
And you said the last time that he visited with your daughter was when?
June 18th.
Okay, and so what are you asking this court to order as far as visitation with your daughter?
I'm asking for I believe it's called modified visits. I'm not sure the term that Ms. Luna used for it, where it goes through the phases of being able to see her, learn her cry and things like that, until she is 3 years old, until she is of age.
Okay, and do you understand that even if the court orders modified visitation, eventually we will go to a standard possession order in this case?
Yes, I understand that, and I'm okay with that.
Okay, Your Honor, I have nothing further for this case at this time.
Ms. Hargrove, you testified that the child had spent overnight visits with dad. Is that
Yes,
correct?
for
How
night
many
with
times? How many
she
times?
stayed one.
Once.
Yeah, she stayed overnight with him only one time.
And was that a problem? Was there any problem with that?
My only concern at the time, no, I didn't have any concerns at the time.
All right, but now you have concerns about overnight visits.
Yes, I do.
And can you explain that?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Can you explain that to me, why now you have concerns about overnight visits?
One, like I said again, being her age, and mainly because Nestor has roommates in his home that abuses drugs as well as himself.
When did you find that out?
About his girlfriend, and the roommate was probably the last time Sailor stayed over there.
I mean, those people didn't live with him before?
No, they lived there, but I wasn't aware of the drug abuse.
Okay,
I wasn't aware of it with Nestor's girlfriend.
okay. All right, Mr. Serrano, you have any questions for Ms. Hargrove?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, call your next witness.
The state calls Nestor Serrano. Mr. Serrano, please state your full name for the record, please.
Nestor Serrano.
Do you currently have a visitation schedule in place with Ms. Hargrove, to your knowledge?
Originally, we did, man. We had an agreement for every other weekend and my off days, and then we backed out of it for some reason.
Okay. And so, have you had the child, in fact, for overnight visits?
I have.
Okay. And when was the last time you had her for an overnight visit?
I don't know the exact date. I believe she said it was like the 14th. She stayed with me 3 nights, actually, not one night.
Okay. When you say the 14th, are you saying June? Are you saying
June. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. June. I'm sorry.
Okay. And how many nights was that stay by your
She ended
trustee?
up. She ended up staying with me three nights that week.
Okay. And before that July or June 14th visit, did you have overnight visits with her prior to that?
I had one.
Okay. All right. And so are you asking the court to grant you a visitation, a standard possession order of first 35th weekends?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is there any truth to her testimony that there is drug use in your home?
No, ma'am. I'm more than willing to submit a drug test. So is my fiance.
All right. And so you are asking the court to basically do a standard possession order in this case?
Yes, ma'am. That's the every other weekend, right?
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you have any issues with taking care of her based on her age and her needs as a 3-month-old?
No, ma'am. Not at all.
Okay. Were there any issues when you kept her overnight for the 3 days in caring for her?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I have nothing further, Your Honor, for this witness.
Ms. Hargrove, do you have any questions for Mr. Serrano?
No, I don't have any questions for him.
Okay. He's on the witness stand, and so this is your opportunity to ask him any questions if you have any. If you don't have any, that's fine. You have no questions for him.
I just have that he stated that him and his girlfriend is able to do this, but didn't mention his roommate, Kenneth Lee, that also abuses drugs.
Okay, well, hold on. Is that a question to Mr. Serrano?
No, it's not a question, just a
Okay, I'll let you make a statement later on, but right now, if you have a question, you can ask him a question. If not, so anything further, Ms. Jeffries?
I actually like to recall Ms. Hargrove and just ask her one follow-up question.
All right.
Ms. Hargrove, how do you have knowledge that Mr. Serrano or his roommates are indulging in drug use?
I have saw Nestor myself. For his girlfriend, his brother told me, Christian Hymas told me and my mother. And for his roommate, Kenneth Lee, I saw it myself.
Okay. And what type of drugs did you see them taking? The two people that you did see doing drugs, what did you see them taking? I'm sorry.
Smoking weed.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Serrano, you have any questions for Ms. Hargrove?
No questions on that. Or no questions for her. No questions for her.
Okay. Anything further, Ms. Jeffries?
No, Your Honor.
Anything further you want to say, Ms. Hargrove?
No, Your Honor. Oh,
Whatever.
I do. When I said that he kept her one time, it was one time for 3 days. I didn't mean like one day, but no questions.
Okay, so one time he kept her for 3 days.
Yes.
Time he kept her for 1 day. Is that right?
No, never. He's never, to my knowledge, kept her before that for 1 day. I don't know where he got that from, but he only kept her one time for 3 days.
And you didn't have a problem with that?
At the time, I did not. At the time, I wasn't aware of the drug abuse between his girlfriend and his roommate.
All right. Mr. Serrano, you have something you want to say?
Yes, sir. As far as she's saying that my brother said that he told her that, my brother's, if there's any way, he's willing to testify to say he didn't say that. If there's any way for that.
No, not unless he's here right now.
I'm sorry, he's not.
All right. Anything further?
No, that'll be it, sir.
All right, Ms. Jeffries, you have a final argument?
No, Your Honor, I would just submit that we ask that you do consider the age of the child pursuant to Texas Family Code 153.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to speak up a little louder. That's not coming through very well.
Sorry, Your Honor. I was just saying that I would ask that you just take judicial notice of the Texas Family Code 153, 254 in regards to children under 3. The state is comfortable with whatever you rule, basically because the child has spent the night overnight with the non-custodial parent before, but also we do consider the fact that the child is only 3 months old and the allegations of drug abuse.
And if there was a modified possession and access, who would supervise the first, or do you think there needs to be any type of supervision, Ms. Hargrove?
I will supervise myself, but I don't really know what the phase is, what all it entails. So can't say because I don't know what all it entails. But I would supervise the visit myself with my child.
All right, I'm going to order that the father have a modified possession and access with 5 times each period. Thereafter, standard possession order. Father is ordered not to use drugs 24 hours before or during his visit, or allow anyone to use drugs in the presence of the child. All other stipulations are approved.
You said 5 times, Your Honor, each period?
I'm sorry?
Just to clarify, you said 5 times each period?
5 times each period, yes.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Serrano, there's going to be 5 times visiting with the child, with the mother supervising. 5 times where you have the child with no supervision during the day. Then it works into an overnight, and then it works into standard possession order.
Okay.
Important that you not use, or, I mean, I'm ordering that you not use drugs 24 hours before or during your visit, and that you don't allow anyone to use drugs in the presence of the child. Now, Ms. Hargrove, these orders, and Mr. Serrano, these orders are, you have to follow if you can't agree to something else. You all can agree to something else if you want to. When you can't agree to something else, you have to follow these orders. You understand that, Ms. Hargrove
Yes, I do.
and Mr. Serrano? Yeah.
Yes, sir. I do understand it, but I mean, can I say something?
Sure.
My whole thing is like all of a sudden, she was letting me keep my baby perfectly fine until we had an argument. And now all of a sudden I'm abusing drugs and I can't keep my baby and this and that. Like, I just don't think it's fair for her to be there supervising me when everything was just fine before that.
Well, that's only going to be for 5 times.
Okay. You're right. I'll be patient on that. And you're right.
It's only going to be for 5 times. But again, if Ms. Hargrove, you feel that you can trust him, you know, to have the child overnight before it comes time for that, you can do that. I mean, it's going to be up to you all to agree to something different if you want to do something differently, but it has to be by agreement. You can't.
Okay.
You got to follow these steps. All right.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor. You guys just wait for 1 second.
We're working on the last.
Go over the details, and then we'll the order drafted for you guys. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
One more. I can't. I could understand.
Sorry, I'm just saying. Hold on